Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs are now heading back to Ottawa for Game 6 tomorrow night after they couldn't close it out against the Sens at home last night.
Shabbat scores! Thomas Shabbat gets it through.
Yeah, the Senators opened the scoring in the second period last night, then took a 2-0 lead on this shorthanded goal midway through the third period. Now, the Leafs, they were trying. They had 29 shots on goal. 3 power plays, too, but they just couldn't get past Sens goalie Linus Ullmark. Ottawa added a pair of empty netters in the final few minutes, picking up a 4-0 victory and forcing Game 6.
We like our game. I mean, we outshot them, and we're doing a lot of good things. It's it's always the toughest game to win is the fourth one. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you were to tell us before the series we're going to be up 3-2, going back to their place, that's a position that we'll take.
Okay, let's debrief now this morning with Gord Stellick. He's the co-host of NHL Morning Skate on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Gord, you've got plenty of front office experience with the Toronto Maple Leafs club. What's it like in a playoff series like this with a team that, since I think 2016 has only won one playoff round, clinching game? They're 1-13 in clinching games otherwise.
So, Nick, I like to put sports analogies like real life analogies. So I look at the tension right now. The worst thing is if you're in a relationship and your partner says, we've got to split up. Okay, that's brutal. But the medium one is those 4 dreaded words, we need to talk. And all of a sudden you get like that kind of fear and apprehension. So that's what's happening, first of all, to the fan base right now. They're kind of in that mode. They're not panicking. But also within the team, hey, they're athletes. I don't think they wear it the same like the fans do, but 14 games, Nick, they've had a chance to close out a playoff series, and they're 1-13. So they got to wear that. They're wearing that right now. So they got to get over that hurdle. I still think they got all kinds of reasons to be confident, but you don't want this kind of same narrative creeping in. And boy, oh boy, if they lose in Ottawa, it's going to really, really creep in.
Yeah, it's not you, it's me, Gord. But in all seriousness, this era of the team, they've had this issue of getting over that hurdle and hump here. From your experience, in hockey, whether it's, talking about it or sort of, as a general manager, what's it like the psyche of the players and the delicacy of this? Because they're aware of this record. How does a coach or, front office try to help the team get over it? Or is it just like you guys have to figure this out for yourself?
Nick, I think a lot about the latter, really, because I know there's so mumuch support now. I mean, you're talking about assistant coaches, you're talking about psychologists, whatever it may be. And you're kind of saying, okay, you got to kind of park that. And once the puck is dropped, I believe they do park that. But really comes down to same old problems. Been a team that scores copious amount of goals in the regular season, in big games doesn't get them, and didn't last night. So, you mentioned about the special teams. Leafs were killing it. Now Ottawa is. Goaltending's been great on both sides. The big guns, who are the big guns during the regular season, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander, simply have to be the big gun. They have to do it. So you can do all the slicing, dicing, all the talk. Are we going to put Nick Robertson instead of Pacioretty in, or what else we're going to do? But it'll be the big guns at the end of the day that will be the difference maker. So that's really what it boils down to. The talking is on the ice, and they get another chance on Thursday to talk, and hopefully not another chance on Saturday, but that's what it's going to come down to. But there's a lot of white noise in playoffs, Nick. That's your point. Between games, and that's one thing you got to try to annoy and distance yourself, or avoid and distance yourself from.
Yeah, it can get annoying, I'm sure, for the players, but yeah, they got to try to shut that out. That's for sure. We've got to give credit where credit's due, though, Gord. Of course, Ullmark, really 29 saves last night, a shutout performance, his first ever postseason shutout. He has suddenly picked up where Stolarz kind of was after Game 3.
No, absolutely. And, one thing I'm glad, like all 8 of the playoff series, none got swept in 4. Yeah. And Ottawa really deserved to win. I was happy for their fans and for that organization to get a win at home. But now you don't want the momentum shifting the other way. So, yeah, give them full marks. And the dreaded thing is a hot goaltender trumps everything. Now, fortunately, the Maple Leafs have a hot goaltender, but all of a sudden, Linus Ullmark getting hot, and you've got another animal to deal with as far as the Toronto Maple Leafs, kind of how things have turned and how they have to try to get it back. But Ottawa Senators played great. You're talking about 3 games in overtime. The Leafs happened to win 2 of those 3. So really, it was a lot closer series than when it was 3-0. 3-2, really, where it is right now, is indicative of the play.
Gord, if this comes back for Game 7, how is Leafs Nation going to cope?
Oh, ouch. Well, they've been through it before. it's kind of like at the end of it, it makes it all the more sweeter if you get there. But I think a lot of people right now are annoyed, saying, "Are we watching Game 6 of the first round again? Come on, can we not move on and go back 21 years or 25 years where getting to the second round in the Pac-Win era was automatic?" So, hey, that's the beauty of being a fan. Being a fan brings back to when the best time in life, when you're a teenager, when you're a kid, whatever, your day-to-day life stuff that goes on. You go back being a fan. You live and die with whatever team you're passionate about. And hopefully this time, which they haven't done for a number of years, if it comes down to a Game 7, and I'm not saying they can't win in Game 6, but comes down to a Game 7, the Leafs are the victors, which they haven't been in deciding games for a decade.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch. And if they can't do it in 6 or 7, I feel like to sort of complete the analogy we started with, Gord, a lot of fans are going to be breaking up with the team. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Gord Stellick, co-host of NHL Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Radio. Appreciate the time this morning. Great to chat, Gord. Thanks.